Good afternoon, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Get on and talk to everybody today about this situation everybody's in and trying to correct their status. And I'm going to be all over the board today. So hopefully everybody's going to take some notes and hopefully somebody's saving this video and I'll be able to get it taken care of when I get down here myself. But before we get started, I want everybody to know that throughout my last 4 years here on Facebook, my express intent the entire time has been to share the truth. Now, the events along that journey in my research and some of the postings that I posted, particularly in my earlier stages, you will see there's a very difference along that path. And this is all because of the different knowledge that I've come across that I researched again and again and again, and along with correlating with other knowledge that I gained since then, was able to get a better perspective of it, a better view of it. I was able to realize the realize with my real eyes. And today, just like I tell you about bikes, anybody will tell you the more you ride a bike, the better you get at it. The more you do your research, the better you get at it. The more you see out of your research, the more you're able to see it before you have to research it. The more you cognize it in reality and say, wait a minute, I've been doing it all wrong. And having said that, again, my whole intent is simply to share the truth. So anything that I've said in the past that isn't quite true or somehow is merely a mistake. My intent is pure of heart. That's what I have in store. That's what I have inward, in words. And this is where I correlate everything that I'm doing. In beginning was word. And when that judge looked at me in my last trial and asked me, Mr. Little, do you understand English? I responded vehemently, yes. Today I profess I don't. I don't know English. I do know the words that were written in my heart. And this is what extends when people ask about this definition of love. Life is everything. Love is the acceptance of everything as it is. What is done is what ought be done. So don't fight it, accept it, observe it, record it, and respond, react, or behave. It's not behave, it's behave. And so when we think about this behaving, what are we having? And this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to be all over the board, so I'm hoping you guys will be able to connect it. What do you behave? And this coronavirus thing's got people running out to the stores and stocking up on everything, and the store shelves are short. What do you have in store? Do you have the materialistic things, or do you have the knowledge to be able to survive without the toilet paper? Can you survive without the toilet paper by knowing the right words? And inherently in knowing the right words, you know there are other things other than toilet paper that you can use. And this is a simple concept when we put diapers on our babies. We've gone from putting cloth diapers on our babies that we can repeatedly reuse to disposable diapers. And I imagine it was probably the same way, people using some kind of cloth and water waste disposal system to be able to reuse a cloth to wipe their ass. It's that simple, people. So what do you really have in store? Do you have a washcloth? One washcloth that will cut down on all the recycling. Granted, so some people that might seem gross, but walking around on dirt floors seems gross nowadays, whereas back in the day it was normal and it wasn't feared. And people lived just fine. People used to go barefoot out in an earthen dome that they called home. The whole floor was nothing but dirt, and they didn't even have the concept of shoes yet. And they did just fine. How did they do that? Today we have a concept known as the armor of God. And if you see the picture in my post before this video, a couple posts down actually, I think, you'll see a picture of the armor of God. And it's got a nice looking man in a suit of armor with a shield and a sword, a breastplate, a helmet of salvation. We'll start at the top. It's got red flags denoting each piece of the armor of God. Helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, belt of absolute truth, the sword of spirit, the shield of faith, and the feet protected by the gospel of God, the word of God. And that is the glory of God. Thine is the kingdom, the earthen home that we live in, and the power that protects us inherently, because he put us here for a reason. And just like he takes care of the little birds and the little squirrels and animals of the world, even though they are subject to us under the law, land, air, and water, given dominion of all of those, plus the creatures within, would he not then take care of us? Would he not then protect us, give us protection with that guidance? And so long as we follow that guidance and protection and do so with others by expressing his will unto others and protecting them and guiding them by accepting his love and shedding it on others, that is love. You can accept everything in life, but if you're not going to accept him as that wholeness, that omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscience, omniscience, conscience, the science within you, the spirit, the inherent knowledge is what you should have in store so that you can freely give what was freely given. So when it comes to that protection, forward, forward, protect, cover. It is a cover for the ward, and I am a ward already. I am not part of the state. I am already cast of the earth and born of the air and the water, and therefore am already a ward in his house on earth as it is in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. He's the one that gave me the calling. And I heed him every time he calls me. And he doesn't call me by a verbal name. He calls me by my feet in spreading the gospel, not vocally speaking it, but by moving. And that's what I have in store. I move by spreading the word. And in so spreading the word and sharing those 5 words, to receive 5 words back and go back to him and say, yea, Father, I have learned more. And he will reward me with those rewards of those that pander to nothing. And actually, pander isn't even right. Let me take back who subject themselves to nothing by thinking they are saving the one word that they have and not sharing it. Don't be timid with what you have. Don't be timid by not knowing yourself. Know thyself. Ye are gods. Spread that word. Quit letting people put you down and bully you. If you know in your heart that you have love, spread it. That's where it comes from. And then it's supposed to go to the mind to think about. And then we're supposed to verbalize it. Now, if verbalizing includes vocalizing it, please do so. But make sure, like, I'm trying to make sure I do it in truth. Not just vocally, but it as well verbally in everything that I do. So think about this stuff, people. And one of the things I want to get to here, in verbalization, they sung. This is Revelations 14, verses 6. Particularly, read verses 3 through 9. And this, of course, is King James Version, as I always try to preclude to. Verse 3, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts, and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 100,000, which were redeemed. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which kill the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Right there, we're talking about perfection. We're talking about those who have been able to the wiles of evil, able to stand against them. And we're going to read that here in another verse. And this is 6 that we're pertaining to particularly. Realize with your real eyes. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. In all languages, it is visible. If you listen, if you see, if you feel, if you touch, if you taste, every sense that you have. And believe me, people, you've been indoctrinated to believe that you only have 5 senses. I have a sense of love. I have a sense of hate. I have a sense of, I sense those when I feel. Think about it. Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Give glory to him, give credit to him, give credence to him, give credibility to him. That's the credit I give away today. I'm giving all credit to him. I'm giving all glory to him. I try my best to do everything I do in truth and nothing but the truth. In beginning was with God, and the word was God, and that's where I give credit to. He guides me. He protects me. I shall not waver. For the hour of his judgment is come, and worship in him, or worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the foundations of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Continue drinking or yourself to the quote wiles of evil by not recognizing it. You're subjecting yourself to your own torment. And this is here again. I'm going to go all over the board. I'm going to correlate this with the thing about notwithstanding any other provision of law, you're not required information if the form that they're asked to fill out or give information for, information, the form is not truthful, then you don't have to give it out, period. But in their law, it says, and this is where I want people to correlate the love of money is the root of all evil. If it doesn't have OMB, a current and valid OMB number, then you don't have to give it out. What they're saying right there is if it doesn't have a valid OMB number, what is an OMB number? They're saying that if it does have an OMB number that is current and valid, then you're supposed to fill it out? Nope. Only if you subject yourself to their form of the words, which is a reduction of the truth, which is a departation of the truth. They are not partaking of the truth. So they are departing from the truth. Therefore, it is not the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Sorry, I can't give that information. I don't have a name. I have been called Keith all my life. And in its correct form, it is not a name. It is a calling that my mom and dad to call unto me when they me to them in their name of little, under their judgment, under their protection. It is nobody else's discretion to do so. Period. Regardless of any written document, no matter how they think it has, for the kingdom and the power and the glory. I was cast of his house, not theirs. They do not have power over him. And therefore I give all glory, all credit to him, and not they speak of credit, they speak of not of any bit of glory to him. Credit in their system is false. And the third angel, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead, what they're saying there is you are departing from his message. And this is where Ephesians 6, verse 10 through verse 20 speaks of God and that departing. Ephesians 6:10, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God. In other words, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. In other words, when you speak the word of truth, you wield that flaming sword of truth, and you shield the truth with the shield of faith. To strike against the devil and stand against the devil on your own 2 feet. Cinched up with that belt of truth. Standing true with the breastplate of righteousness that you get from him. And his helmet of wisdom and knowledge. His cap. That you obtain. As like in not a bill of attainder. See, it's all relevant throughout all of their jurisdictions. It's uniform. It's one form. Truth. And if it's not truth, then it is not in the correct, proper form to have any power. I don't give it credit. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities, against power, darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in Vatican, the white pope, gray pope, black pope. Yeah, trilogy of popeness. 13, wherefore take the armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Give us this day our daily bread, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power, or the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Each day, to be able to withstand in day. 15, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. I come in peace, I live in peace, I will leave in peace. I come in peace, I stand in peace, I will leave in peace. I move and I am stationary in peace. My freedom of expression, my freedom of movement. Above all, faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the darts of the wicked, lashing out with the flaming sword of truth. And the sword of the Spirit is the sword of it, which is the word of God. In the beginning was Word, and the Word was God, was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was Word, and the Word was with truth, and the Word was truth. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all and supplication for all saints, all children of Israel. Again, the ones that you're supposed to be protecting. You're supposed to be able to realize the real eyes with your real eyes, lying contentiously. When they profess millions of dollars, think about it. What do you really have in store? What is that $1 million really going to buy you? All those years in college, did it really college? Or were you indoctrinated financial system under the belief that when you growing up in school, you went to preschool just so other people could get a concept of what your learning patterns were, so they could determine whether you needed to be medicated to be indoctrinated in order to be under what was legislated. So now you're regulated and still being medicated. What do you have in store? Are you really looking for monetary gain, or are you looking for prosperity and abundance? Are you looking for life, or are you looking for love? 17, and take the helmet of salvation. 18. 9, for me, that utterance me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. Again, I only wish to speak the truth. If I have made a mistake, please forgive my transgression as I forgive those who are indebted to myself. For which I'm bonds. Bund. Learn the root words. Bond comes from bund, which comes from band. To band together, or to band something tightly. To bond it. To congregate. So many different synonyms to the same word, and we don't recognize it and realize exactly where it came from. I already have a bond. I was created in his, and told ye are God, that I'm not supposed to subject myself to some other idol, that I'm supposed to give him all glory, praise him daily for protecting me, as he said he would, as he is charged. So when we think about armor, I explained one time that Angel Michael sits on the right hand of God. He's wielding the flaming sword of truth. That shield fits that truth. That's held by Gabriel to move in unison and in balance. And so when we talk about life and we talk about the acceptance of life, and we accept that people get angry, and we accept certain people love everything that there is about life, and we accept people that hold grudges, while at the same time we're holding grudges, or we're going out and showing our gluttony by buying up all the store supplies because we believe that's what we need to store. We need to store the fear of the future, not having enough shit wipe. Little bitty grain of mustard seed, or one little bitty grain of love on that scale to help balance it. To see the realize with the realize, or realize the realize, to be able to see the fairness in everything, see the equity by being equitable. You can't see the injustice if you're using injustice to proclaim some kind of righteous and just. You shouldn't be using it at all. If there is a righteousness and justness about it, you know how to use it first, so you can use it righteously and just. That's why I quit the commercial system. I didn't want to keep moving forward in fault, so that they could default. Seems all backwards, doesn't it, folks? It is. Backwards. Backwards. It's not words, folks. It's been written down as wards. Backwards. Okay, well, let's flip it around then. If I am accepting that on the ward, back over here and flip the ward around. So now I use the right hand of God to draw back the evil, pulling out all of the bullshit so that nothing is left but the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That is my true power artwork. And it can exist in the pen as being the pen mightier than the sword, but it can exist in a greater form by one's actions. It is said they speak louder than words. Out and we're protecting others, and that flaming sword, and teaching them how to accept the helmet of salvation and give credence to that which they already have, the shield of faith, of truth, breastplate of righteousness, and the feet, the boots that allow you to travel in ministering your mission across the land as an ambassador. And this is what is a concept of being able to take full gain of the prosperity and abundance of that which is freely given, so that you can give freely and realize the taxation, the burden He burdened the animals, and yet he provides for every last one. He does the same for us. So it's not what we have in a storage or a cold cellar or down at the store or in a storage unit things. All materials that we need are already provided. If we use our just righteousness, we can provide from those materials unburdened way by knowing the love of self and accept inward of ourselves. So that in abundance, and we see him not doing prospering, we're supposed to lift him up. We're supposed to surrect him, as in what they call resurrect. This is all, it's all important, all the words. When we correlate words, when we use the word protection, I just did a video the other day about discovery. Well, what's discovery? Well, let's talk again about protection. Pro means forward or forward. Forward in the sense that we think of today, forward, as it's pronounced phonetically, forward means future. But in its correct sense, forward, protect, cover for the ward. I'm the ward, and I am already covered. So you can't discover me. Okay? And so when I did the video the other day of Columbus professing that he discovered America, or somebody professing, anybody who professes that Columbus discovered America, in a very large sense and very many different aspects, he did. But in the real sense of the protection, what he did was a detection as well. So the transliteration of the words themselves are very skewed, and you really need to start paying attention to them, because when you realize what the true intent of the words are and where they come from, again, Babylon falls. Babylon falls within you. You no longer are subject to the serpentine strangulation of the constriction of the words that are being used against you in a court of not law. So what is it that truly you think is protecting you? So I'm going to read some comments here. Joshua writes, I'm uninsurable due to me being an act of God. Yes, brother. Yes, brother. We are an act of God. I posted that here a couple weeks back myself. Just a simple comment. I'm an act of God. And that's exactly what it is. I am. I am. I, as I am. A nomen, yep. Well, let me talk about this resurrection. I spoke about this here the last couple of days in a couple of videos. So I'm going to break it down again for you guys here. Resurrection in regards to correcting our status. First of all, let me point out, when you correct your status, I want you to think about what I've talked already. You have to correct your status there first before you can go any further. Otherwise, like I said, you've already departed, and if you can't get back to the truth and then go out from there, travel out from there, move out from there, then you're not going to be able to express it appropriately, and it will consume you again. And it's a thing of practice makes perfect. So I comprehend. You're gonna try this. You're gonna get more knowledge. You're gonna try this. You're gonna get more knowledge. You're gonna try this. Same thing I do. But the more knowledge you gain, the more sufficient you're going to be in being able to attain that goal of being a true ambassador to His word, to the truth. So I urge everybody to learn as much as you possibly can about the truth first. But when it comes to correcting our status within this system, I want to give you an analogy. See, everybody knows that it's a vessel in commerce, a vessel, a ship. What do they do when they create a brand new vessel, or when somebody buys a used vessel and now it's their vessel, now they possess it? They do what's known as a christening. It's the same thing as baptizing a man. You resurrect, bring him back, and get him. So about correcting our status in this commercial system, we're supposed to capture that person who's lost at sea in the deadly seas of commerce, and we're supposed to salvage him. The salvation. This is the part of the salvation that we're supposed to transport, that we're supposed to convey, be an ambassador of. We're supposed to go out and teach these people, other people, how to commit to that salvation and resurrect that person out of the seas of commerce. Give him a new name. Take him inward, in words, in the correct words, in truth. And then, if we wish to use that person in those seas of commerce, we do so under the right words, and he cannot commit sin, and he does not make a profit, because his intent is pure equity in form, pure equity in nature, and therefore is dealing specifically with prosperity and abundance, a bond that is already created prior to the commercial system. Therefore, anything derived out of that commercial system is then shared or partaken and not departed from. I hope that clears things up for people. Yes, the abundance, in regards to abundance and prosperity, they're both part of what's called legacy. And legacy is that ambassador. It literally means ambassador, taking his word and passing it on. And this is what we talk about in the legal society as the heir. The heir gets to take what was his father's and possess and use it and pass it on if it is still usable. So what's in store? Do you have materialistic things that will eventually deteriorate and no longer be usable? Or do you have knowledge that will forever, eternal, life eternal, be usable? Do you have custody and disposal, dispositioning, removal, or moving from one place to another? Isn't that your right to travel? Isn't that your freedom of movement? Isn't that just merely conveyed by thought? You can move mountains merely by thinking about it. Why can't you move yourself? Why can't you get up off the couch and quit watching somebody else's glorious life or dramatic life or suspenseful life on a boob tube and pay attention to your own life? Realize with your real eyes. Why can't you see it on that monitor? Why can't you see it when you hear these people speaking babble, speaking legalese? See, when you want to speak the truth, you speak things like the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we oppose those who trespass, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. And for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Forgive us our transgressions as we forgive those who are indebted to us. And give us our daily bread. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And you just read it all backwards again, and it all makes perfect sense. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven. Our Father. Not my Father. It's not my will. It's his. It's his will I am ambassador of. It's his legacy that I hold in my heart. It's his legacy that's written in my heart. And it's in him who I trust my every act. It's him in whom I trust all of my verbalizations. I trust that he is guiding me truthfully. I trust that that protection of armor that he provides. I have faith. I have hope. I don't profess the future. But I do speak as much as I can in all ways so that other people get the message. Pure and simple. Well, I've been on 40 minutes and don't have much of a response, so I'm wondering if these comments about me breaking up has got me cut off. But it says I'm still recording on this end. But in the meantime, I just want to take a moment of silence here at the end for those who are empty in store. Those that have succumbed to the evil wiles of the past, those who are suffering them today, those who will suffer them tomorrow for lack of knowledge. I ask that I can spread that truth in a greater capacity as I grow myself, so that it will have an exponential growth and effect in that positive aspect of love. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So let's have a moment of silence and think about it. See if we can find new ways to verbalize what the true aspect of this vessel is. It's already been through salvation. We just have to accept that by realizing it, by knowing the truth, learning the truth, being cognizant of that so we can behave that truth and step every day. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful day so far, enjoying life, living life, loving life. I really, really hope people think about what's being said in this video. Like I said, I bounced around a lot, but you really do need to think of what's going on today in all aspects, and know that you're already protected. You just have to go back under that protection that you've departed from. If you're not realizing his words, then you're speaking in lies. You're verbalizing in lies, vocalizing in lies, you're acting in lies, you're behaving in lies, you're behaving lies. So think about this. And again, remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. I would not be doing this. Do you have his legacy in store? Do you partake of what he freely gives so others can partake of it because you give freely as well? Have a good day, everybody.